Hey friends, surprise, it's recorder time. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about this sooner. I actually wasn't sure it was going to be able to happen until really recently. And Miss Schaefer and I worked really hard to make sure that you would still be able to get your recorders even though we're at home right now. So if you get a chance, please say thank you to Miss Schaefer for helping make sure that this was possible for us. So by now you probably have your recorder and you've probably already played around with it because it would take a whole lot of self-control not to, but let's just pretend that you haven't. I'm going to start from the very beginning, okay? So on your Google Classroom, in this assignment that I posted, you saw I still really want you to do the other lesson that I posted for this week. When I created that last week, I made that video last week and posted it this week, I wasn't sure if you would have your recorders yet. So those are essential music reading skills that you need to have to play the recorder well, because if you don't know what notes you're reading, you're not going to be as successful as quickly. So if you can, watch that one this week, and then let's talk about the recorder. So, you're also going to have on your Google Classroom, make sure you check, you will have 3 attachments this week. If you can print them out, that would be great so you can reference them. There's something that says how to hold the recorder, shows you how to do it properly, because I promise a lot of you are going to forget. There's a fingering chart. What that means is which holes to press down on your recorder to create the correct notes that you need. And then we have a copy of our first song, which is Hot Cross Buns. Okay, so now let's take a look at the recorder here. When you take yours out of your bag, it's going to have 2 things inside besides just the recorder. A little stick like this, which is known as a cleaning rod, and then a little piece of fabric. I don't have my fabric anymore because this has been my recorder for a long time. But what that is intended to be is a little cleaning fabric that you would tie onto this little hole right here. And so when you're playing your instrument, sometimes the warm air going inside creates condensation, so it will be wet. And they add the little cleaning cloth in there so that you can tie it on here, put it into your recorder and sort of swipe it around, pull it back out, and then the moisture is left on the cloth instead of inside your instrument. However, what I really prefer, I usually don't bother with the moisture inside of my instrument. And if I really need to, I go get a paper towel and just go like this a couple of times. Because what I really want y'all to learn to do is to give your recorder a bath about once a week. Like literally just put it in the sink with hot soapy water and scrub off with hot soapy water, just like you were hand washing some fancy dishes. Ask your parents for help if you don't know how much soap to use or anything like that, but that will actually get your recorder clean, okay? And especially if you feel sick or anything like that, I want you to make sure that you're cleaning it because your mouth is going to go on this every time that you play it. So yes, it's only your germs, but if you're getting sick at all, or if you get sick during this time frame, wash your recorder or else you're giving yourself your own germs back, which you don't want. Okay, so, oops. You've got this and the cloth, do whatever you want with it, but I don't use mine. So you've got your recorder, and you are going to notice holes down the front and just one hole on the back. Okay, let me go through this how to hold the recorder sheet with you, and we'll work on that. It says there are 7 holes down the front, and ours have double holes on the bottom. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What it means by double holes is that there are multiple holes sort of in one finger slot down here on the bottom. That's for creating different notes, but don't worry about it. We don't need those right now. Here is the most important part. your left hand goes on top. So create yourself that L. Why am I doing it backwards for myself? Because look, it doesn't look like an L to you anymore. It looks like an L to me. Your left hand is the one over here. It needs to go on the top. You put your thumb on that hole in the back. You put your first finger here, covering a hole. Second finger, third finger. My pinky does not have a place it needs to be, ever, besides dangling in the air, because your pinky is really too short on that hand to reach. Do you see how my fingers are kind of curved? Okay, my thumb is totally straight on the back. Finger number 1 down, finger number 2, finger number 3. This is my left hand closest to my mouth. It does not matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. Left hand always goes on top. The instrument is built that way. Now I take my right hand and I place it about halfway down the instrument, on the back. Halfway down on the back. Now there's a position for all the rest of my fingers. Finger number 1, finger number 2, 3, 4. This little one on the bottom is even sort of scooched over to the right so that your right hand pinky can reach it, because pinky fingers are shorter. Okay, you see how my fingers are draped down gently? I'm not pressing like this and making my fingers flat. It won't work right. You're going to want to put the fattest part of your finger covering the holes. Now, what I just taught you is how to cover all the holes, but our first song, Hot Cross Buns, doesn't always have us covering all the holes, because if we always cover all the holes, we can only play correctly, really, 1 or 2 notes. Instead, we need to use different finger combinations to play the 3 notes we're going to use for Hot Cross Buns, which are B, A, and G. I'm going to put Hot Cross Buns on our screen and show you what I mean. Okay, I changed my mind. I decided to go ahead and put a picture of the full fingering chart on the screen first, because I wanted to show you how this actually works. I told you that for Hot Cross Buns, we were going to use the notes B, A, and G. Okay, so let's just focus on those 3 for right now. Look at the little picture on the side of each of those squares, and you'll notice it's actually a diagram, really simple diagram of the recorder. Remember, there were 7 holes down the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a thumb hole on the back. Well, what this is indicating, if it's colored in, you need to press that finger down. Okay, so look at all 3 of these. The thumb is colored in black, so that means we need to have our thumb pressed down to play B, A, and G. Now look at B. It is the highest of our 3 sounds. B, like every good boy does fine. A, like F-A-C-E, face. G, every good, it's a line note right there. Since this is the highest of our 3 sounds, we only cover 1 finger besides our thumb, one finger on the front. Now, as we get lower, we add more fingers here. We add A, because what it does is it makes the air travel through the instrument a longer time. You guys know that bigger instruments create a lower sound. So it's sort of like our air is having to travel through a longer instrument when we press down more fingers, if that makes sense. If the air starts up here, it just goes whoop and then escapes when it gets to this hole when it plays B. For A, the air starts up here and has to travel down further before it can escape out of the instrument. For G, the air has to travel down further before it can escape, and that makes the sound higher and then lower. So B, A, and G. I'll grab my recorder and show you what that means with my fingers as well. Okay. So get a good background. There you go. You can see my thumb hole in the back there, and the different holes on the front, but I'm only going to need the top 3 in order to play Hot Cross Buns. Now, I'm going to see what I can show you, even though this is sort of an awkward way to do it. I'm going to have my recorder with my thumb on the back. Now, I need my first finger down for B. I add my second finger for A. I add my third finger for G. Do you see that over here? Thumb down no matter what. First finger, add second finger, add third finger. That's how you're going to read this recorder fingering chart. And you can teach yourself to play other notes. It's just not involved in Hot Cross Buns. Okay, now let's look at Hot Cross Buns. Here we go. This is not the way I would do the rhythms with you typically, because see how there are half notes, which is like ta, 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 then a half rest, 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 ta, 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 rest, rest. Normally we do Hot Cross Buns faster, but not for our first song ever on the recorder. We're going slow. I'm sure you guys can play this fast. I don't want you to. I want you to focus on playing it well, not fast. Fast does not always mean good. It's going to be sloppy and you're going to miss some things. So just slow it down and make it good. Okay? Take a look at the first note. Use your strategy. What's that note? Every. Good. Boy. That one's a B. So what I want us to do first is try singing the song Hot Cross Buns, which goes hot. Actually, let me make sure I'm singing a B. I think I might be a little low. There we go. Hot. I played the note B on my recorder. I want to be correct in what I'm singing. And I want to sing the note names instead of Hot Cross Buns. Let's sing the note names that we see in front of us. It's B, A, and G. Try it with me. Ready, sing, B, A, G. Rest and breathe. B, A, G. Rest, breathe. G, 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 A, B, A, G. Rest, rest. Just from doing that, I think it shows how important being able to read using the music alphabet is on the treble clef music staff, because suddenly you need to know which fingers to press down based on what you see on the staff. It's starting to become real, all this stuff about reading using the music alphabet. Okay. This time I'm going to put myself back on the screen and show you with my fingers, but I sincerely hope that you're able to print out these papers and stick Hot Cross Buns in front of your face. Stick the music in front of your face so that you can look at it as I'm helping you learn what to do with your fingers, okay? If you've got it, get your music out and ready. Okay, what are the 3 notes we need for Hot Cross Buns again? B, A, and G. And I want you guys to put your fingers in the correct pattern on the instrument with me. And if we were in the classroom together, I would tell you, thumb on the back, and I'd make you say check once you had it done. Finger number 1 down, check. So I'm gonna pretend that we're in the classroom together because that's what I'm used to. And if you want to say it out loud afterwards, awesome. I would appreciate that, just so that you are literally checking that your correct fingers are down. Okay, remember, your left hand, the one over here, goes on top closest to your mouth. So, left hand thumb on the back, check. Left hand finger number 1 down, check. Left hand finger number 2 down, check. Left hand finger number 3 down, check. And you're not going to hold with your right hand, you're not going to hold it down here. That's cheating. You're going to put your thumb on the back and make these other fingers hover over their holes, ready to play other notes at another time. Okay? Now, do you remember I've got all of these down right now because that's what I'll need eventually in this song. Do you remember what finger combination is for B? Thumb and first finger only. Do A, add a finger. Do G, add a finger. This time I'm going to sing it, and I want you to check that your fingers do what mine do. B, A, G. Now, look at something really important. Can you see the fat parts of my finger have like little circles on them? That's because I am definitely covering up my holes all the way. If you don't cover up these holes all the way, you get air leaking out of them and your instrument squeaks and it doesn't sound right. That's a really common thing with new players. You have to cover up the holes all the way. Don't squeeze it to death, that'll hurt your fingers, but cover up those holes, okay? Put your thumb on the back again, first finger down. Sing the note names with me, B, A, and G. Ready, go. B, A, G. Try it again. B, A, G. Did you move your fingers with mine? Now in hot cross buns, the next part. 1 a penny. That's 4 G's in a row. So I would leave my fingers this way. G, 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 G. When it moves to 2 a penny, those are 4 A's. A, A, B, A, G. The great part about hot cross buns is it is very repetitive, so it's a good first song for you to play. And most of you already know the song, so you can really check your answer and know if it sounds correct. Okay, now most of you have probably already messed around with playing your instrument a little bit, and some of the sounds you created probably aren't good because you don't know what you're doing yet. This instrument does not require fast air. It requires slow, controlled air, okay? Now, I've taught you about breathing. Everybody knows how to breathe or else you would not be alive right now. But breathing correctly to be a musician, like when I've told you about breathing for singing, same as breathing to play an instrument. Your breath comes from here, not here. Your shoulders remain relaxed. Your chest remains relaxed. Your belly expands like there's a balloon, expanding inside of there, and then contracts back and gets smaller as you breathe out. Okay, listen to my recorder playing. Just listen, and I'll tell you how I make it sound good. Okay, so I even had a couple of little things that I thought faltered in there. One of them was my air was a little wobbly a couple times. I could hear my air going, ooh. So you use slow, gentle air, but also keep it steady. Number 2, something I want you to eventually think about. My tongue actually has a job when I'm playing a wind instrument, either a woodwind or a brass instrument. This is a woodwind instrument, and my tongue is actually coming up to the roof of my mouth just behind my teeth, like I'm going doo, 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 between each note, okay? Now I'm not actually singing, not activating my voice, but my air is going doo, doo, doo. My tongue comes up to the roof of my mouth and interrupts my airstream very, very slightly at the beginning of each note. Otherwise, you just get, and then I wanted to play 1 a penny, I get, that's what a lot of y'all are going to sound like at first. You're going to think you have to go, no, my air is staying the same. My tongue interrupts my air to make it sound so steady. This is all one thing with my air. The only thing that interrupted to make those different sounds is my fingers changing and my tongue coming to the roof of my mouth in between the notes. Do, do, do. Sing that with me. 3 notes on do. Ready, go. Do, do, do. Try it again. Do, do, do. Now when I get to that measure that says 1 a penny, my air stays the same. I get to 2 a penny, my air stays the same, but my tongue comes up to the roof of my mouth. Okay, I am giving you a ton of things to think about, and you are not going to sound like this, like a music teacher, the first couple of times that you play this instrument. But here are some things that I want you to take away from this. Number 1, understanding how to read the music is important. Okay, not just memorizing what it sounds like and figuring it out. Understand how to read it. Use your strategies of line notes and space notes that I've been teaching you on the other videos. Number 2, what should I put as number 2? Your left hand always goes on top closest to your mouth. That is the biggest rookie mistake that people make. A lot of y'all are probably right-handed, and it's going to feel comfortable to just stick your right hand up here. Well, guess what? When you get down here, your pinky will not reach correctly because it is not built to have your left hand on the bottom. Left hand on top. So number 1 was learn to read the music. Number 2 is left hand on top. Number 3, memorize your fingerings for your instruments. So B, A, G, etc. Number 4, cover your holes completely. If you don't, you're going to get squeaks and stuff. Okay, I'm just manipulating my fingers. My fingers were not covering those holes all the way, and it squeaks. Number 5, soft, slow air. Please, soft, slow air. So let me see if I can remember those all in a row. Number 1, learn to read the music. Get comfortable with reading music. Number 2, left hand on top. Number 3, start memorizing the finger combinations that you need to use for different notes. Number 4, cover the holes completely when you are playing. Cover the holes completely. Number 5, soft, slow air. Here's my final message for you. This is a privilege right now. It's one of the few things that we can do at home that is super, supposed to be super individual. A lot of stuff about our music classes was always, let's play a game together, and recorder is very much individual. Yes, we would practice together, but then I would be listening to you play individually, which we don't usually do, because I want to see how much work you are putting into it. So I'm so happy that you're getting to play these. It is super individualized. Don't annoy your family with it too much, please. I am well aware that you can make all kinds of silly, strange sounds on your instrument, and you're going to want to experiment with it. But if your parents are working, if your brother or sister are working on some school stuff, if you've got a little brother or sister taking a nap, don't run around your house acting like a crazy person, annoying them with your instrument. Please, you're all stuck at home together, and I would hate for your instrument to get taken away because you're acting crazy, okay? Think about, respect the people that live with you, and try to make your best sounds on the instrument. Send me any questions that you have, and I'll do the best that I can to help you, even though we can't be together right now. I'm really excited for y'all. Have fun.